अभिनव आपने बड़ा अच्छा पॉइंटर मेंशन किया कि फ्रेंड्स कहते हैं कि यार चल दारू पीने चलते हैं. सो नेक्स्ट बिगेस्ट चैलेंज है, फर्स्ट बिगेस्ट चैलेंज है कि गाइस थिंक कि यार आई एम नॉट नॉर्मल एंड दे हैव नो वन टू शेयर थिंग्स विद.
Right.
Second biggest challenge is that, whenever anything negative is happening in our lives, we are attracted to more of negative stuff.
Yes.
And the first solution दिमाग में जो आता है addictions, we have a full-fledged episode on that, episode 1 at Being Men. So addictions में जाने की chances बहुत ज़्यादा बढ़ जाती हैं.
Right.
So apart from that, men में क्या है कि we have more access to addictive stuff. पहली चीज़ तो यही है कि हमारे फ्रेंड्स में मना होता है कि भाई दारू पीते सॉर्ट हो जाएगा. उससे क्या होगा, यू आर जस्ट डिलेइंग योर रिकवरी. और जितनी डिले कर रहे हो, अगेन इफ यू आर हैविंग अल्कोहल,
Right.
it's bad for your next state.
Yes.
It's bad for your dopamine. It's bad for your maybe how you're feeling, your mental brain function. So आज आपने you are basically borrowing happiness from tomorrow and day after tomorrow for 3 hours.
Right.
Tomorrow and day after tomorrow would be much worse, right? So your breakup plus the hangover, that's a very messed up thing.
Yes, like completely right. Like, you are going through a pain, and as we said, कुछ चीज़ें हमारे कंट्रोल में नहीं होती. They are just somehow, we are wired to behave in certain patterns, in certain manners. Of course, our DNA is the way that we've lived our lives, the situations, the kind of information that we've received, the kind of circle that we have, that affects a lot of these decisions. But addictions, I think it's the most common thing, whether it's smoking or drinking. I think this is one incident that actually can, because I remember that you said कि addiction शुरू कहाँ से होते हैं कि आप किसी substance को use कर रहे होते हो, and then there's an event that happens in your life जिससे इसका use ज़्यादा हो जाता है, and at that time I think these substances become an excuse to bring that pain down. Loss of, because at the end of the day you have lost someone from your life, right? Unless you build a kind of a relationship with the other person where you still can be friends and stuff, but most of the times it won't happen like that. So वो pain को कम करने के लिए I think a lot of us, we go into addictions, for example smoking or drinking, eventually realizing that those are not the right paths how to cope up with those breakups. Other kind of people I feel, they go into the vengeance mode. बदला लूंगा मैं, कुछ करके दिखाऊँ. So they use the breakup as a motivation.
Yes.
I remember I used to see a lot of friends, and today also if I was scrolling through some Instagram, because we were talking about breakup, तो मेरा ध्यान उसी पे जाता है, जो चीज़ के बारे में बात करनी होती है वो ज़्यादा ट्रैक्ट होने जाती है. So I see a lot of these youngsters in their early 20s and in teenage years जहाँ पे कुछ breakup हुआ and they are doing these dumbbells मार रहे हैं और साथ में ये there are these quotes going on कि she made me feel lonely, now see everyone is looking at me and this and that कि मुझे छोड़ के चलेगी और मैं देखो अब मैं क्या बन गया हूँ. So that is another thing that I've observed that happens apart from the addiction. So I think ये दोनों चीज़ें आपकी mental health के लिए सही नहीं है. So you should be a little cautious, like make peace with it. Firstly, come to a neutral kind of mindset where you have realized, okay, this has gone, even if that means you have to give yourself some time to heal with that. But the more mature would be, let the time do its part. And if any kind of an energy like this vengeance, or you feel like going through addictions, just check yourself once again.
Yes, also keep in mind that, sexual addiction is also one part that, you suddenly
Rebound.
change yourself, you become a fuckboy. And, you hurt your future partners because of that.
Yes.
Right? Because Instagram की बात हो रही है, मैंने कल परसों एक कोट पढ़ा कि, the guys who are cheating, women are cheating because some women in the past at 18 years old did something to them.
Yes.
It's the stupidest way of going forward with things. Think about other humans also. Think about your future partners also.
Yes.
Right? Also think about, respect your own body also. If you are just, see, if you want to engage in sexual activity, that's totally fine. But if you're just doing that to cope up from something else, I don't think that's a right way to go.
It's the same thing, drinking or smoking. Like, you might feel good while doing that activity, but the next day you feel like shit. Like, everyone watching this, let's be honest. Like, if you really have become a fuckboy after going through a breakup, do you really feel good after having that meaningless sexual intimacy with the person that you might not like and you might be doing it just for fun? Like, does it really give you peace? Does that really give you happiness? I'm sure like 90% people will be no. And the next day you always feel bad about that. And a lot of clients that I coach, they always say the same thing, and I always tell them, do not go for a rebound immediately, there's no time period ki 1 mahine baad, 2 mahine baad, but give yourself some time. Like let's say if you were in a relationship for let's say 2 years, give yourself time for like good 6 months until you are sure of yourself ki I'm over that particular period of mourning, or that person has gone out of my life, and then you can continue your life in a normal way.
एक बड़ी इंटरेस्टिंग स्टडी बताता हूँ कि स्टडी है मेन पे भी है विमेन पे भी है दैट इफ योर बॉडी काउंट इज मोर देन 5
Right.
chances of you not being happy in your marriage are much higher, like increased by 78% or something.
Body count matlab?
Body count, amount of people you have had sex
Body
with.
amount, okay, right.
So ये बहुत इंटरेस्टिंग है फीमेल्स के लिए भी है मेल्स के लिए. मुझे इसका लॉजिक ये लगता है, रीजनिंग बिहाइंड दिस मुझे ये लगती है कि यू नो if your body count is high, that's a sign that you are finding pleasure in these things.
Right.
And sooner or later, when you are with the same partner long term,
Right.
you won't find the same pleasure you would with a new partner.
Right.
Like it's like common sense. So if you start deriving happiness from them and you are teaching your brain कि भाई happiness यहाँ से ही आती है, then you know monogamous relationship आपके लिए
Right.
रखना जहाँ पे you are just want to be with one partner would be very difficult.
Yeah, like also because I asked that question, body count, that tells that I have no idea what this really means, because I've always been someone who has been very focused individual in my life. So one part that definitely brings my focus back to the things that matter to me is that always been kind of a one woman guy, a one woman man. That helps me to stay focused on the other things very easily. And I think this is one of the other side effects that can happen, that if you are into that polygamous kind of relationships, you know, whatever your body count is, it's 5, 10, 15,
Yes.
whatever is, the chances of you being focused in your life will be less than if you were just involved with one person.
This is a great pointer because common sense वाली बात
Yes.
है. It's not just about sex. You have to do texting,
Yes.
right? You have to
Yes.
meet. Maybe you have to go out for dinners,
Yes.
right? You can do that, but you know, just ask yourself what your priority is.
Yes.
Now, talking about priorities, simple सा we talk about this a lot of times. Just divide your life into 3 parts:
Right.
health, wealth, relationships.
Beautiful. Yes.
हर part को 33 marks दो.
Yes.
Right? So if your relationship is maybe 5 right now or even 0 right now, you can still score a 66 out of 100.
Yes.
Right? So focus on your, you know, health and wealth, because it's a great time to, you know, level up, level yourself up,
Right.
not for revenge,
Right.
but just for your own self growth. So, you know, this is how I score myself. Health 33, 0 to 33. Wealth 0 to 33. Relationship 0 to 33. That helps me stay balanced. And jo 1 bach gaya out of 100, that is for spirituality.
Right.
But again, if you are staying in harmony with all of these 3 things, with relationships, with your wealth and health, spirituality would automatically come in.
Definitely, I completely agree to it. And beautifully said as to, if someone is listening and if they are doubtful ki, you know, if you are in a relationship and you don't know where it's heading and you are a little concerned as to what will happen if this goes down, start working on the other two, the health and the wealth.
Yes.
The reason being is your health, it is like the purest form of existence. Your mind and body will only perform at its best when you are healthy. And why would you not want your body and mind to perform at its best, because you just got one life? So, you know, take care of your health. Start watching more of Being Men videos so that you can become healthy. And wealth, of course, as we talked about wealth in our money episode also, it gives you a chance to restart from any point of your life, whether it's breakup, whether you've gone broke, whether you want to change your business, anything. If you have wealth, you can always restart. So these two can become a really good anchor. So that's a great pointer.